Peterson's book, 12 Rules from Life. This is from the second rule, and this section is called Good and Evil. When their eyes opened, Adam and Eve realized more than just their nakedness and the necessity of toil. They also come to know good and evil, the serpent says, referring to the fruit. For God doth know the day ye eat therefore, when your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. What could that possibly mean? What could be left to explore and relate? After the vast ground already covered, well, simple context indicates that it must have something to do with gardens, snakes, disobedience, fruit, sexuality, and nakedness. It was the last item, nakedness, that finally clued me in. It took years. Dogs are predators, so are cats. They kill things and eat them. It's not pretty. We'll take them in as pets and care for them and give them their medications when they're sick, regardless. Why? They're predators, but it's just their nature. They do not bear responsibility for it. They're hungry, not evil. They don't have the presence of mind, the creativity, and, above all, the self-consciousness necessary for the inspired cruelty of man. Why not? It's simple. Unlike us, predators have no comprehension of their fundamental weakness, their fundamental vulnerability, their own subjugation of pain and death. But we know exactly how and where we can be hurt and why. This is as good a definition as self-consciousness. We are aware of our own defensiveness, finitude, and morality. We can feel pain and self-disgust and shame and horror, and we know it. We know what makes us suffer. We know how dread and pain can be inflicted on us, and that means we know exactly how to inflict it on others. We know how we are naked, and how that our nakedness can be exploited, and that means we know how others are naked and how they can be exploited. We can terrify other people consciously. We can hurt and humiliate them for faults we understand only too well. We can torture them, literally, slowly, artfully, and terribly. There's far more than predation. There's a qualitative shift in understanding that's a catechism as large as the development of self-consciousness itself. That's the entry of the knowledge of good and evil into the world. That second as yet unhealed fracture in the structure of existence. That's the transformation of being itself into a moral endeavor, all attendant on the development of sophisticated self-consciousness. Only man could conceive of this rack, the Iron Maiden and the thumbscrew. Only man will inflict suffering for the sake of suffering. That is the best definition of evil that I have been able to formulate. Animals can't manage that, but humans, with their excruciating semi-divine capacities, almost certainly can. Yeah, that's true. Humans are the only people that give people suffering for the sake of suffering. Animals don't seem to be as sadistic nearly as humans. And with this, he doesn't use the word sadistic yet. And with the realization we have well-named full legitimization of the idea, very unpopular in modern intellectual circles, of original sin. And who would dare to say that there was no element of voluntary choice in our evolutionary, individual, and theological transformations? Our ancestors chose their sexual partners, and they selected for consciousness and self-consciousness and moral knowledge. And who can deny the sense of existential guilt that pervades human experience? And who could avoid nothing that without that guilt, that sense of inbuilt corruption and capacity for wrongdoing? A man is one step from psychopathy. Human beings have a great capacity for wrongdoing. It's an attribute that is unique to the world of life. We can do and make things worse, voluntarily, with full knowledge of what we are doing, as well as accidentally and carelessly, and in a manner that is willfully blind. Given that terrible capacity, that proclivity for malevolent actions, is any wonder we have a hard time taking care of ourselves or others, or even that we doubt the value of the entire human enterprise. And we've suspected ourselves, for good reason, for a long time. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Mesopotamians believed, for example, that mankind itself was made for the blood of Kingu, the single most terrible monster that the great goddess of chaos could produce. In her most vengeful and destructive moments, after drawing conclusions such as that, how could we not question the value of our being, and even of being itself? Who then could be faced with illness, in himself or another, without doubting the moral utility of prescribing a healing medicament? And no one understands the darkness of the individual better than the individual himself. Who then, when ill, is going to fully commit to his own care? Perhaps man is something that should never have been. Perhaps the worst should have been cleansed of all human presence, so that being in consciousness could return to the innocent brutality of the animal. I believe that the person who claims never to have wished for such a thing has neither consulted his memory nor confronted his darkest fantasy. What then is to be done? That was from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Life. That was from rule number 2. Rule number 2 is entitled Treat Yourself Like Someone You Are Responsible for Helping. And that section was called Good and Evil. My name is Gregory Brandt. Don't click the thumbs up button. Click the subscribe button and check out my own book. It's called Gonzo Education. There's a playlist right on my channel. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day.